This is Mana. This is BLK's podcast.
Okay, start again. just pretend that didn't happen. Cut.
Wow.
Start again. It's all good.
That was really bad. Okay. Wow. What am I doing right now? All right, okay. All right, hello and welcome to another episode of BL Can't See You. I'm one of your hosts, Mana Reads.
Hi, I'm Natalia, and I have bronchitis, but I'm okay. It's not COVID. Took a test and everything.
Natalia decided that she was going to be a good soldier.
I'm a good sport. It's so rare that I'm sick so often because I have a immune disorder, so I get sick a lot. And since I'm so sick so often, it's rare that I have to be dying to call off a recording. Otherwise I'm yeah.
It's fine. It's totally
cool. Don't worry about it. But no, I am okay. So anyone listening to this in the future, I am fine.
So I don't know if y'all remember from last time. Natalia did give me some homework to do.
A little bit.
She gave me a little bit of homework, whereas she tasked me to watch the Japanese BLs that had been coming up, and I was like, well, where will I find them? But luckily,
easy peasy lemon squeezy. They're so easy to find.
They've made them so easy now. So
the worm has turned on the J drama situation. They're more and more you are finding. It's still not as much as the other Asian countries, but you can find them. So
yeah. So she tasked me with watching Old Fashioned Cupcake, which I did. Then she also tasked me with watching Senpai Not to Love, the one with the artist, the CG.
Senpai Denjite Koidowa.
Yeah,
Senpai
that one.
Is This Love, which is still airing. It's
still airing. It's on episode 3.
3, yeah.
Yes, and I think it's going to be a short series, but
yeah, these are all short series. They're all under 10 episodes.
And then I did watch the first episode of Mr. Unlucky.
Has no choice but to kiss, otherwise known as Fukukan wa Kisuru Shikanai.
Yes.
Which was the first of these 3 to come out. So the Mr. Unlucky came out first, which came out in April. And then Old Fashioned Cupcake came out last month in June, and it only has 5 episodes, so it's already done.
It's already done.
You can watch all 5 Chef's Kiss episodes on Viki right now. If you wanted to, you could pause this. You could go open Viki. You could watch all 5 episodes. And then you could shut down Viki. You could come back here and continue this episode. And Senpai Is This Love is airing on Viki and Gaga Ulala at the moment.
Out of the 3, I would say that one by far is my favorite. Although I really did like Old Fashioned Cupcake. It really gave me that old kind of nostalgia vibe that they were going for, except without being terribly creepy. I mean,
it's not creepy at all. It's anathemic to anything creepy. Yeah. It's just. So here was my concept. I was going with a concept for why I selected these 3 dramas as sort of a BL vibe, okay? And my concept is that each of them features people in a very different stage of life. So in Mr. Unlucky Has No Choice But to Kiss, they're college students. So listen, we don't do that high school shit here, okay? We want the college. I'm looking at you, make it right. You made me feel very uncomfortable the entire time I watched you, okay? Not feeling it. No. So Mr. Unlucky takes place, it's their college, okay? Senpai Is This Love is a newly employed.
Well, new college.
Yeah, he's just a college grad, and then someone who's a few years older
Yes.
Like in their career. So just sort of starting out their careers. And then Old Fashioned Cupcake, he's old, man. Like he's like, listen, I'm 40.
He talks about being nearly 40. He talks about
he's 30. He's 39. He's been in his position for a really long time. He's just
he doesn't really want to get
bachelor.
He's just like very comfortable in his life.
He's a bit of a rut. Nothing's really new anymore. I love it. So I thought it would be like fun to look fun. Natalia's version of fun. Harkening back to grad school days. To like look at how these dramas portray like romance at these like 3 different stages
of life.
Okay.
Right.
All 3 of these dramas. Okay, I can't say for sure that Senpai Is Love will do this for me because like I have not finished it as it is still airing.
It's still airing. It's still ongoing.
So I haven't finished it. But the other 2 for sure, just the warm vibes that were just like coming to me.
Yeah.
The warm vibes that these shows were just like, yeah, we're gonna like, we don't want you to feel bad.
Right.
When you watch these. Like, we want you to actually like I just want to assure you, I know it's very common for gay stories, for queer stories to just be so fucking tragic. Just so tragic. And but
the thing is like they're getting less tragic.
They're getting less tragic. And like, but what I like about these is, okay, with the exception, I'm making a big statement here, with the exception of Mr. Unlucky, and there's a reason why I'm saying this. The other 2 are very realistic. Like they're just people doing people things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mr. Unlucky,
it's very slice of life.
Yes,
the genre,
very much so. And Mr. Unlucky is not that it's like super unrealistic what these people are up to. It's just that the basic plot has a bit more of a, I can't even call it a fantastical element.
Well, it's kind of like a little bit like fantasy, right? Because the guy is like, he feels like he's like really unlucky and like a bunch of bad things happen to him.
Yeah, so one guy is like incredibly unlucky and bad shit happens to him all the time. And the other guy is incredibly lucky and only good stuff happens to him all the time. So then they discover, well, the one with the bad luck discovers when he's near the one with good luck, nothing bad happens.
Yeah.
And so he decides, I'm going to be this guy's best friend. But the lucky guy misinterprets his desire for a platonic friendship.
Right.
And thinks that he is hitting on him and is down to clown with that.
Yeah.
And so that one's more of a comedy, I would say, than the other 2 are because and man, see, you're missing out because you didn't finish it.
I didn't.
There's a turn. The show has a turn, and it's so good. Like, in a good way. It's not a tragic turn. It's a realization about, self-turn.
Right. I mean, I do plan to finish it. I do. It's like one of those things where, like, it's one of those shows that I'm watching, like, on my own, like, for myself. So, like, just... Anyway, I'm going to watch it. But I did watch the other ones. And I did watch the other ones. And so I want to talk about the other ones. I definitely want to talk about Old Fashioned Cupcake. Because it definitely gave me, like, really, like, old, like, nostalgia, like, Japanese, like, yaoi, like, from back in the... Like, I want to say back in the day. I'm talking about, like, the 90s. Which I guess for some...
That's technically, like, listen... I hate to say this and sound like a completely old lady. But that's technically back in the day for us. Like,
right.
It's like the 90s technically qualifies as
yeah. And like we have some listeners, I'm sure, that were like born in like 98 or something. And anyway.
Youngins. 80s babies. 80s babies.
So I definitely like the feel that it gave me from that, but like it wasn't like, if you guys aren't aware of like Japanese BL, you've only kind of discovered it recently. So like when in the 90s and like when it started like coming like not mainstream, but there was a lot more movies that you could watch and things of that nature. It always centered around, most of them always centered around like businessmen in like particular like, oh, I'm not really gay, but like if you give me like 3 beers, sure.
I'm not gay, but $10 is $10. That sort of vibe, you know? Yeah,
that sort of vibe. And it would always be in that like retro film, you know, because they were like super low budget, and like it was just like, but that's
it always had sort of like I always hate it. It's always the like, I'm not gay except for you from the Thai BLs. It was like that without ever saying it.
Yeah, like they never said it. It was more just like they would like, you know, be sad about something, and like their like coworker would be like, "Oh, hey, you want a drink?"
And then go get a drink and some food, and then come, you know, bada bing, bada boom, and suddenly they're having a gay panic, and that was basically the whole genre.
Yeah, that was basically it. That was basically what you could get. And so when I was watching Old Fashioned Cupcake, like the retro film that they put like on top of that kind of reminded me of it, but like they removed all the bad.
Yeah, it's like they distilled the nostalgia of watching one of those, but it was good. Like, and you were just like, oh wait, I love these. And despite the fact, I just want to point out that for a 5-episode show, what a slow burn, eh? Like, it was like reading the most delightful slow burn fic, but like somehow condensed into, but you still got the feeling of like
you still got
a good, you're just like, when's he gonna pick up what he's putting down? When's Nozue gonna pick up what Togawa's putting down? Like, he's not understanding that they're not bros, and he's the only one who doesn't know it yet.
So it was really good.
If you're curious about the plot, because I realize we actually haven't said what the plot of Wolf Touch Cupcake is.
No, we haven't at all.
There's a 39-year-old office worker who's like bored with life because he's kind of in a rut. And so his like closest work colleague, who's this 29-year-old guy, is like, hey, let's just like go have fun together. And they start going to like dessert cafes and like taking pictures and updating his flip phone to a smartphone and
that flip phone,
basically just going on all of these really delightful dates that it takes him a really long time
to figure it out
that they're actually on a date. And it is, it's hard to describe this show and make it sound interesting. Because like when you just say that, it's just two dudes going to get dessert. I'm like, yes, but it's so much more. There's so much more going on. Like, it's so good, and it's just and then, you know, it's nice to watch like an age gap romance that absolutely no one's bitching about the age gap anywhere, which refreshing. And I just want to say that, like, I have no problem with age gap romances so long as everyone's an adult, you know what I mean? Like, but then again, full disclosure, my parents had a 30-year age gap between them, so I'm a little biased about not being bothered by age gaps. And by the way, it wasn't like a creepy age gap. Like, they met when my mom was in her late 30s. Like,
no, I mean, I think age gaps. So I think there's a misconception, right? Because I do have an issue with age gaps, but it's not so much like when they're paired with like 20s and like 30-year-olds and like or like it's not that. It's when they're paired with like 17-year-olds and like 20.
No. As long as everyone's like an adult, I'm like, whatever, you do you. But this barely legal shit, no.
Yeah, so that's what I mean when I say that, because it's like
absolutely not.
No, like
I don't
so
like
that's
that.
what I mean.
I don't like that.
Yeah, no, because listen, we could talk about that. That's for another time. That's for another
every once in a while, you'll see someone like complaining about like a 25-year-old and like a 35-year-old, and I'm like, who the fuck cares? Why? Like, I bet your parents have a 10-year age gap. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, get out of here. Get out of here. But this was like, it was nice. It was nice because while they were both in different like stages of their life, they both really understood each other in like and like complimented what each other needed in this. And I just
it was really good.
I love it so much. It's so good. Like, I don't even know what to say about it.
I mean, it was very cute. Like, I know that it's not very, like, nothing really happens. Like,
yeah, well, that's slice of life, right? It's literally
but like, so it may not be everybody's cup of tea that way, because it's like literally they like wake up and they go to work and it's like, you know, their office lives.
Then they go get pancakes. Then they text each other for a while.
Yeah, and then he has a flip phone, and it's like the most adorable thing ever, because he like doesn't know how to operate like his smartphone.
Yeah, and that's like a whole, you know, like a whole plot is him being terrible with technology, and it's adorable, and like it's you just you feel for the poor man.
You do. The poor man. And then you know, and then they have, you know, the younger, like, hotter man, you know, and he's got some abs and like, you know, but he's super simping on his like, oh god, you know, boss.
Like from the get-go. We're not even like spoiling anything. Like,
no, we're not.
You can tell from the first time they're on screen together, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, how has nobody picked this up yet?
Right?
Oh.
And it's just like and I think
I love them.
The other refreshing thing about it is like, one, they didn't really have to use alcohol for any of their
No, like, do they drink in it? Yes, but does that actually change the outcome? Like, is that a plot mover? No,
it's not.
Isn't. It's just like something that they do.
Also, that the younger man, his character, what was his name in the show?
Togawa.
Mm-hmm. So Togawa actually did kind of come out without coming out. And so I thought that was a bit progress in Japanese BLs. I mean,
they've gotten better. They've gotten better. Like, it's been a long time since the 90s. They've improved.
Like by like this much though.
Like we all saw and love Cherry Magic, and you know it, and we know it. Okay, it's all good. We're in a new era of the happy gay. Okay, the happy gay Japanese BL.
So that was good. The other one, I mean, you just have to watch it because it's really cute, and it's like they're not long episodes, and like
they're like 20 minutes.
You can like give them down in like chunks and stuff. And
I will say that the My Drama List description of Old Fashioned Cupcake, very misleading. Very misleading. Okay,
what does it say?
I'm gonna read you this description, and I just want everyone to know that while this is not an inaccurate description, it's not a truthful description of what this show is about. Okay, Sleep, Wake, and Work sums up the day-to-day life of 39-year-old Nozue, a routine that eases him and conversely weighs heavy on him, which worries the hard-eyed but reliable Tagawa, a 29-year-old subordinate of his. In an unexpected turn of events, the two of them end up visiting a pancake shop bustling with girls. like it's accurate, but it's not truthful. That's not the plot of this show. like that's just the plot of a scene in the first episode of the show. Like
sometimes I love my drama list, and I find it amusing the things that people put there, and I'm just like, why have you described it this way? It's not. It's just like they do go to a pancake cafe, and there is lunch, and they do have to wait in line, but that's like the only. That's like only one episode, and that's only like one scene. That's not the entire show.
No, like, there's more to it. There's layers. There's things
it's not like they're
happen.
just waiting in line for pancakes, and then that's the only thing that's
just them just talking about how their job weighs on them. That's it.
Yeah.
It's a real slice of life. That's like we're going hardcore slice of life.
The other one that I think we need to discuss or talk about, because it's still ongoing. It is also going to be pretty short, but it's like Senpai not to love, the one about the CGI artist.
Mm-hmm. This oh my god, has a delightfully accurate but not quite truthful synopsis. I will read it for you now. Yanase has worked as a 3D CG designer all across the world. Now back in Japan, he's training a newbie by the name of Kaneda Yuki. There's only one issue. Kaneda is super unfriendly towards Yanase, leaving Yanase frustrated and disappointed. With a new project where they'll have to work side by side, how can these two overcome their different personalities?
What?
Like, it's accurate, but it's not true. Like, you're missing, this synopsis is missing a huge chunk of information out of it.
So basically what the series is about is, it is true, it is about two office workers, and they do work at a CG company. He has returned from abroad to work in Japan again. However, the subordinate, I wouldn't call him unfriendly. He's just an introvert, like an extreme introvert.
He's awkward.
He's very awkward. And it's not that he doesn't like his boss. Is that he likes his boss.
He likes his boss, but he's panicked every time he gets shown any information, like any sort of attention. He panics and then gets awkward and clams up. So everyone thinks that he's like abrupt and mean, but really he's like the guy, you know, his boss is giving him like a friendly pat on the shoulder, and he's like, please don't touch me. But it's not because he doesn't want his boss to touch him. It's because he's afraid he'll have a heart attack. His boss touches him more. Like, he likes it too much. He has like a little shrine of like, it's this sort of story.
It's not terrible, okay?
Not a creepy shrine. Like, not a creepy shrine. Just a.
It's not like the shrine that Toe had for New Life.
Shrine? No.
It's not that. It's a cute shrine. I don't know how else to describe it to you. You have to see the shrine. It's fine. It's perfect.
It's a very compared to some of the shrines we've seen on Thai BLs. This is fine. This is nothing.
This is okay. But he's so adorable. I mean, it was, by the way, spoiler warning if you haven't seen the like last episode of this show, where they go and they're at the shrine because their project is
it's a fake, one of those fake superhero projects, but they gotta fight in the shrine.
But the thing is that so he has a coworker that's like not as good as he is. Like, he's always late and he didn't finish his project. So the premise of this episode was that he asked him to like take pictures of like a model.
They needed some skin texture references.
Right. skin texture
references for the CGI that they're doing.
Right. Yes.
Which absolutely isn't something you can just download off of any stock site or any resource site. Except that you 100% can. So I'm for very little money. So I'm confused as to why. But listen, we don't ask these questions.
No.
Because you're not supposed to think this deeply.
No, you're not. You're not really supposed to think about the fact that you totally could have gone to Google and totally looked at CG models.
There's literal entire like websites dedicated to these sorts of resources for digital artists. So like
right.
But we digress.
but the most important part of this was that his boss. Yanase. Like, so he's asking him like what's wrong, and so he gets like so like clamped up, and he's like, I'm gonna do this, like you just need to take my pictures, like I'll take off my clothes or whatever. So he starts kind of undressing himself, but he gets so like he can't do it, like he physically cannot, like he starts trembling, and so he's such an adorable little bean, and I just like want to give him like one of those like anti-anxiety hugs, you know.
The main actor who's playing the little anxiety bean, he was in a 2020 drama that not a BL drama, but a 2020 drama that I watched and really enjoyed because I really love contract marriage dramas. This is like another thing about me. So he was in one called Marry Me, and he was the main lead of that, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know where it's airing right now. But if you get a chance to watch that, it's pretty cute. It's about a government program that gets set up to marry off NEETs. Do you know what a NEET is?
No.
No employment. So it's basically people who don't have jobs and just stay home all the time.
Okay.
Like basically just otakus, right? Like
okay. Yeah.
So it's like the project pairs government employees with NEETs as a means to rehabilitate them and reintroduce them into society. Anyway, so he's like the pilot government employee to like go marry this girl whose grandmother signed her up without her knowing. So good. So I really enjoyed him in that. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, hey, that guy. I like that guy. So
yeah. So so the one of the things that I really like about it is that his boss kind of also has a thing for him too. like
yes, he does.
He really does, and and the other one is that yes, he has a crush on him too, but he has a crush on who he is, like as a person. Like he's not like he doesn't try to like make him into like a mold of like any particular thing, you know, because he's not entirely sociable.
He's very respectful. He's very respectful of this guy's limits.
Yeah, he is very respectful of his limits, and you know he kind of understands like that this is how he is, and like just gives him enough, you know, kind of space to kind of, you know, feel comfortable. He never tries to encroach, and I think that's where like kind of the tension comes from, is because they're both like really mindful of each other.
Yeah, just, they don't need to be, and so like then they both overanalyze everything.
Yeah, everything. So every interaction that they have, it's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done this, or like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have like, you know, spoken up. And it's like, and but they leave it on like a cliffhanger every episode.
Every episode. My problem. Okay, so I've been having this problem recently, where it's just like, I hate watching currently airing dramas because I'm more of a binger, but I am watching so many currently airing dramas that I hate myself. I literally I hate it. And this is one of those. And it was just to like fuck with me a little. it was like off for a week. Like after episode 2, there was like a week's break before episode 3, and I was like, why are you doing this to me?
It was, yeah. I just usually when I watch like these like little short dramas, I'm used to them like being uploaded all at the same time, so you could just watch them all at the same time without having to wait. But the ones that really killed me, this one's really killing me because this one I really really love, and like this was like my favorite, and I'm like I need to see more of this. Like I need to see.
I want more.
Yeah,
give me more.
So
give me more.
The other thing about these kind of current Japanese dramas is that I don't know what I'm doing with my hair. I don't know what's happening. Anyway. What I like about this current like season of Japanese dramas is like it's like giving you a little bit of angst without like you drowning in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like, so if you are not aware, if you haven't really seen a lot of Japanese BL, there's only really 2 kinds of like, well, before this season, there was only really 2 kinds of Japanese dramas. There was either really light and fluffy, like his, like Love Mix Up, you know,
Cherry Magic.
And then,
yeah.
Or Cherry Magic. But then there was, Double Mints and
the other kind.
The other kind. So the other kind is like Double Mints, Mood Indigo, the pornographer. The other one was Dangerous Sex of of Sex and Drugs.
The title says it all, really.
So if you're wondering about like what kind of genre, or the Tricolored Window, if you're wondering,
that one was barely BL though. That one was and that one was also like a fantasy horror drama that was based on BL, but it was in the Chinese bromance vein where you're like,
well, we won't include that one, but but the other ones like the Double Mints and the Dangers of Sex and Drugs. And if you want to know what they're about, just Google Mood Indigo for me.
Yeah, and it'll tell you all you need to know.
Tell you all you need to know
about that genre.
So really, they only made like 2 kinds of BL in Japan. Nothing really in the middle. Nothing like.
Well, there's like in movies they do, but like for TV, less so.
Yeah. So I'm speaking like specifically about like TV.
Yeah.
Whereas like it's just either you go very soft or
you just so hard.
You go so hard. And you're always like wondering about like your life choices after you watch them.
And like sometimes with the movies, they go real nasty. And then you watch it and you're like, why am I watching this? Why?
The only one that I really felt that way about was this is like Double Mints.
You're outing yourself here. You just but no, yeah.
Listen, listen, there's a place for all of it, and
there's a place for every story under the sun, Right, we're not gonna judge.
No. But what I like about these is that like it's like in the middle of like or like just kind of barely like we're gonna throw in a little bit of angst, but we're not gonna like we're not gonna make them go through like serious amounts of trauma. We're not gonna.
I liked sort of the angst level of like a Cherry Magic sort of situation where it was like internalized angst. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was his own sense of self. It wasn't so much reality that was his problem. So it wasn't like society telling him. Like being gay is wrong or like that there's something wrong with him. It was just him being like, I don't know why anyone would like me because I'm cute little fucking nerd who goes all the time. Like, I love Cherry Magic. I love Cherry Magic so much.
Cherry Magic is really good. I think everybody collectively loved Cherry Magic.
What's not to like? like
I've never seen like Twitter fandom be more like
united than when Cherry Magic. It was just like, even if you didn't like love Cherry Magic, you weren't like Cherry Magic sucks. You're just like, it wasn't for me. Like, there wasn't like a Cherry Magic haters club. They were like, like, while I may not enjoy Cherry Magic, I appreciate that Cherry Magic exists for other enjoyers of Cherry Magic. Like, so it's pretty non-divisive. Like, I feel like Cherry Magic is like exists out there. Like, Cherry Magic could fucking unite homophobes into supporting gay rights. Like, think that Cherry Magic is something special, and I can't really, if you don't know Cherry Magic, I can't explain Cherry Magic. Like
it's just like one of those things, like, where it's just like it's just really something like magical about it. Like, I don't know. It's like
knee slapper. It's magical. Cherry Magic.
Oh my god.
No.
I wasn't even trying.
Baby.
I wasn't even trying, bro.
I'm too sick to dab. Don't
dab. Don't dab. You're too sick.
No dabbing. Dabbing forbidden. But I feel like these shows are sort of more in the vein of that Cherry Magic vibe. Like, there's nothing. The anxiety is internalized anxiety, not externalized anxiety. So,
although his ex-boyfriend is coming back to town, and I'm like,
that's true.
And I'm like, oh no, you get off my ship, white man.
But that would actually be a first, because there's no, like, of these three that we watched, there's been no ex-boyfriend
like significant other
yet. So listen, this could be fine. We'll have to see how it goes, right?
Yeah.
And his ex-boyfriend's white, isn't he? Because I think I remembered going, a white man, no. Which is one of my favorite memes from New Girls. A white man, no.
He is a white man. So when I saw the preview for next week, I was like, who's this white guy?
A white man. No, everyone, because if anyone watching this is unfamiliar with like Korean dramas, they'll occasionally bring in like a random white actor who
Thai dramas too.
Yeah, who like can't really act.
Yeah.
But they need someone to play like the American businessman or something.
But they have an accent too.
Yeah, like their accent, like they're clearly like Bulgarian or something, and you're like, yeah, it's this American businessman. But I will say, there's one drama that the white man stole my heart, and that was the drama Doom at Your Service, where they bring in the main character's aunt's Canadian husband, Kevin.
Oh yeah,
and I fucking loved Kevin. I was like, Kevin, he's just there being a good dude, just being like, I love your aunt. I think you're great. Like, I think we can all be just a big happy family. And I'm like, fuck yeah, Kevin. Fuck it up, Kevin. Get it, Kevin.
That's very Canadian.
I love Kevin. I love Kevin. Okay, they really captured the Canadian, like, the Canadian dude marrying an immigrant, like Kevin. Like, yeah.
I don't think he's gonna be a Kevin though. I think he's gonna.
I don't think he's gonna be a Kevin. I don't think I'm gonna love him. Like Kevin was the only one that I've been like, fuck it up, Kevin. So the one that you haven't seen, Mr. Unlucky, it has that same sort of internalized angst where, you know, slight spoiler alert, but if you look at the premise, you can probably figure out where this is going. So the guy who's really lucky, Shinomiya, is super nice too.
So nice.
He's super nice and kind and wonderful and just sweet and kind to everyone he talks to. So because of this...
Wait, hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so because of this, the main character, Fukuhara, begins to feel guilty about the fact that he's using him for his good luck. Meanwhile, Shinomiya is like, use me harder, like just use me forever, like use me all the way down the aisle. Am I right? So it's all this sort of internalized guilt that he has, that he's like fooling this man. But just they're so cute together. And then like then he like finds out that I like don't want to spoil it, but like I love it. I really enjoyed Mr. Unlucky Has No Choice But to Kiss. Not as much as Old Fashioned Cupcake, but that's just because I'm old, and something about the old man at 39, please. My husband's 39. Like, it's not that old. But just like the tired, out of touch. I felt that in my soul.
Oh no, I totally felt that in my soul too.
Like,
I was just like, I was like, what is this?
Yes.
why do I feel this character in my bones? Because he's like set in his ways. He's just like refuses to kind of like really get out of his comfort zone. He's just like
it's just
which is here. But yeah, no, my favorite so far out of Japanese BL for this crop is definitely Senpai. Like, I don't know, like it's just there's just something about that character that resonates with me because he's so awkward and he's so like I really want to make friends, but I just don't know how to make friends and like my boss, but like it's wrong to like my boss. Oh my god, the best moment, honestly, was like they were he volunteered to like stay behind to like work with him. And so he was just like it was like when he was like he went on his knees to apologize for like nothing. Like he didn't have to do that. But he was like on his knees and he was just like and he was like I'm so sorry. And he's like, why are you? No, you don't have to do that. Like, you know, he was so nice. And so like, he gives him off the floor and he like looks at him, right? And then the clock starts like the ticking, you know what I'm talking about, right? And he's like, no, don't look at me that way. Like, no, if you look at me more that way, the alarm's going to go off. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in the previous episode, there's talking about a love alarm that will like the main character in the CGI project like feels that it will happen, but if you have to look at the person long enough for the alarm to go off, and so that's
fighting it. He's fighting it.
But there's no fighting it because he looks at him and it's just like I'm done, like I'm gone, like
ring ding dong, bitch. Love alarm is off. No, it's very silly. Like it's silly. So like it's actually I would say like halfway between. Like Mr. Unlucky was extremely silly, and the main character, the unlucky one, very over the top.
Right,
almost comical. It was the most like I would say the most sort of anime styled out of them. Old Fashioned Cupcake, not over the top, very realistic,
very
people being people. And then Senpai Is This Love is sort of like in the middle where it's like it's realistic, but they're clownery happens.
Clownery happens.
They're still a little over the top with their the main the poor awkward bean is a little like he's special. He's going through it. He's doing his best.
Yes, he is doing his best. And it really, I think I don't want to say he's autistic because I don't think that that's true. I definitely but they're showing like a little bit more like kind of representation that way because it's like while you can have like really maybe bad anxiety, you can also still manage to like work around people and to and to get attention.
He's socially awkward.
He's very socially awkward, but he does try. He really does really try to like get out of his comfort zone and to like talk to people. And I think the lady boss, she knows something's up. I feel like she definitely knows something because like she was like, "Oh, should we switch your partners?"
Yeah.
But like
she listen, she's on the know. Unlike in some BLs where the female characters don't seem to realize that gay people exist, that's not the case in this one specifically.
no.
The other two a little bit, but in this one she seems like she knows what's up.
Yeah,
She
she knows
knows
what's up.
what's up. And what I really like is that Yanase, like the seasoned CGI, like he's pretty clear with liking this guy. Like, and but is also incredibly respectful and moving at the guy's pace. Like,
Yes.
when he thinks he's gone, maybe he's pushed it too far, he pulls back. And meanwhile, Kaneda's like, I can't do anything. I need him to do everything. Like, this man is just absolutely incompetent at his own love life and would just really wants the other guy to make all the moves. Just please, for the love of this poor bean, just do it yourself.
Initiate all the conversation, which he does. Initiate all the skinship, which he does. Like,
yes.
It's so great. Well, we talked a lot about our Japanese BLs now.
I'm really happy that they're becoming easier to find and stream.
Well, so also that too.
So all three of these were on Viki.
Yes.
Senpai and Mr. Unlucky are both on Gagulala. Gagulala has been getting more Japanese BLs. And Viki's just been getting more Japanese dramas in general, which they're a Japanese company, so it's bizarre that it's taken this many years. But like Japanese, like live action, like non-anime Japanese dramas have been a bit of an elusive, like,
and they're very hard to find.
They're hard. Like, there's like 10 that you can find anywhere, and then beyond that, they're bizarrely difficult to find.
Oh my god, legally. They're so hard to find. I remember when I was trying to find 7 Days, just and you still feel like even when you do find it, you still feel like you're watching it like.
Oh, you watch it in like 140p. It's like you're watching it through like warped glass from like a house from the 1800s, and you're just like, oh yeah. And then the subtitles are the most questionable, the like ones fan sub.
Oh my god! And then they're always like in yellow for some strange reason, and it's just like. Y'all don't understand the struggle.
The struggle is real.
But like it's so much easier now to find them, and they have a lot. They have they have Life on the Line, they have Senpai, they have like Mr. Unlucky is with Gaga. And then they have and then Mood Indigo's there. They have it's like a mix. So they have some of the harder ones on Viki too, and then they have like some of the more harder ones on Gaga. That seems to be like their jam.
Yeah, so, listen, if it's gay, it'll be on Gaga eventually. Yeah.
So they're much easier to find, which is good because then people are starting to get to know more of like the kind of like where the origin started. But how like it's like evolving there too, because a lot of the times, I think on a stream I was reading some of my old manga collection from like, oh boy, I forgot. But it had dialogue like, well, I can't. It's so improper. Where like they had like they had like half brothers and like
no, please.
No, we're done with that now. So like hopefully we don't.
We're done. We're done with this.
Yeah. So it's good that they're starting to evolve as well with the times, because that way you have it has a more broader appeal, and then people can, always enjoy these like really. And the thing is that they're short series too. They're not very long, and so they're very like kind of compact for like easy enjoyment, which I like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely check out these Japanese BL. They're not hard to find. One,
No.
their sub quality is great. And also they're just fun watches. Like they're just fun. You're not gonna feel bad about watching any of them. You're gonna feel like, oh, this is quite lovely, and now I feel very nice about life.
And now I feel good about it.
At least that's how I felt when I watched Old Fashioned Cupcake. I was like, I feel really good right now. Like I don't know. All right. Anyway, okay. So now that we've talked about it, and now that we've all wrapped up and stuff, so let's wrap up with our favorite non BL thing this week
that we watched.
Or watched or like reread or like I don't know.
So I've been really enjoying a couple dramas on Netflix. But one that I've become very obsessed with, that it's literally entered my like top dramas list. Like I run a ever-changing top 11 dramas list on my drama list of like my personal favorites. And I did not expect this drama to like somehow just skyrocket to the top. But I've been watching this historical historical K-drama on Netflix called My Country, A New Age.
Yeah, I heard of that one.
I have never like I'm literally obsessed. I am so engrossed in this drama. It is so good. And it is just I literally like okay. So I picked it up because I was watching a movie with Jang Hyuk, okay? He's like a really famous Korean actor, if you're unaware. And then I was like, there was like, okay, so he recently came out with another drama starring Lee Jun, who's like my boy, but it's on Disney Plus, and they don't release it in North America because Disney Plus hates us for some reason. And so I haven't been able to watch it yet, and that's called Bloody Heart. And I was like, wait a second, didn't Jang Hyuk like a couple years ago make like a new another Seguk where like he played like a really violent character or something? And I was like, okay, I got it. And I was like, yeah, okay, My Country. I'm like, okay, so I can't watch Bloody Heart legally right now, but I can easily download My Country, A New Age to my tablet and watch it while I'm at my mom's, because my mom's house has shitty internet, so you got to download it. Holy shit. This drama is so good. It's about like two best friends. One is like the illegitimate son of like a nobleman, okay? But he's his only son. So the nobleman who hates him because he's the son of a slave that he like raped, like has to have him as his heir because he's the only son, because his legitimate son died, okay? And his best friend is like the son of this like disgraced ex-general who was executed. And so he takes care of his sister who has epilepsy. Okay. And okay. And they're like best friends and they like train together. But like but then like there's this general who's like gonna kill the king and become the king. And so like the illegitimate guy's dad is like backing this general. And then it like and that's only like the first 2 episodes. Like, so like this is like 16 and the episodes are all like an hour and a half long. Like they're movies every episode. I have never, and like, okay, I love historical dramas. I need to put this out. But goddamn, I have never been so involved in like the drama of like the historical plots just fucking building. 10 out of 10. 11 out of 11. Chef's kiss. Cannot recommend it enough. Little violent, and as my mom discovered, because she started watching it with me, and she was like, oh, I like historical fiction. And then she saw the little thing that came up that said, while some characters are historical, this is based on historical facts. And she goes, oh, that means it's not going to be happy. And I'm like, history never is. And
yeah,
accurate statement. She did not want to watch it with me, but it is
okay.
A+.
Okay. I heard of it, and I do love historical dramas, and I especially love like historical imperial dramas. That's like my jam.
Yeah, well,
so
if you love sword fights,
I do.
But also like the soundtrack is really good, so it's like a modern like guitar soundtrack to these sick sword fights. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Watch it.
Okay.
Watch it. It's so good. What about you? What have you been watching?
So I have been watching a historical drama. It's a Chinese drama. It's called Love Like the Galaxy.
Oh, I saw that on IG, I think.
It's actually from Tencent. It's Tencent.
WeTV, yeah. Listen, I go between the two apps.
Yeah, me too.
I was thinking about watching it. It's on my maybe I'll watch it list.
Oh my God. Okay, so it stars my girl. I've watched like almost all her dramas. I cannot pronounce Chinese names to save my life. Please do not come at me.
We try our best. Safe place. This is a safe place.
And so the story revolves around, she's like the fourth daughter, like she's a legitimate daughter of like this like general like noble family. Both of what I liked about the drama too is like women are involved in the military in this drama. Like,
I love, yeah.
So like her mom is also a military general and her dad's a military general. So I'm like, this is already like, and so like, she's like has like female soldiers. Well, the mom has female soldiers under command. Okay, but the premise is, here's the thing, is that there was a fortune teller who like told the like crazy old grandma that like the baby was like bad, like you couldn't take the baby away with them when they were going on campaign because like then ill fortune would fall on her. And so they reluctantly like left the baby, right? So she grows up like kind of like an abandoned like legitimate child. And so like the parents come back and so she doesn't really know, like she doesn't know how to read, but she's resourceful. Like she's had to kind of like grow up and like be independent and like basically raise herself because no one bothered to raise her, like no one like taught her manners or whatever. But then she meets this general who's like really cold, like but like looks at her very like longingly and very like lovingly every time he sees her.
And a classic. You love to see it.
But it's like, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn, okay, guys? Because like there's like it's up to episode 16, and she's like about to marry somebody else. So like,
that's sometimes not a barrier to love.
No. Yeah, so there's that. So it's a slow burn, but it's so pretty. Like the scenery, like the cinematography is so well done, and I like it. He's so dashing, because he's riding around on the horse and the cape and the spear that he like. I cannot. Like, there's like in the last episode, in episode 12, like he got injured, like trying to like rescue her from like the situation, and so like. And so she was like the only one who could pull out like an arrow that got stuck.
Absolutely.
I'm also cheating a little bit because I said that I was like this is like my second like, but it's so the other thing that I've been kind of in tune to, so there's this K-pop band group called Only One Of.
Yes. Listen, the people when they first came out, the people were like, "Oh, they're just queer baiting." No. They've committed. They've committed to it. No bait. No bait. Delivered.
They're just all up in. Listen, let me tell you. You just need to watch like Libito, like their live performances.
Oh, But their new stuff is just.
Oh, their new stuff. Okay, so this is actually what I was going into. So their new stuff is actually Eugen came out with a solo song called Begin, and it's like all the members are going to be like making their own like solo songs, but they're going to be like a part of like a story, like a continuation of each other. So Eugen went first, and so his story was like, you know, he works at like a greasy spoon diner, and he like sees a businessman come into his diner.
Businessman, a sexy mulleted businessman who surprisingly fit under that button-up shirt, might I say, shockingly muscled.
Yeah, named KB. And so that whole like story like progresses, and so like they tease like his like the next MV. The next MV is gonna be KB's. There's a bed, and there's like
there's a man. There's a shirtless man in that bed.
There is a shirtless man. It's like
they've committed.
Yeah, this is with his like this is like with his partner. Like
yeah, they've committed.
They've been paired up for a while. I'm really sad one of the members didn't leave under. Anyway, we're not gonna go into that today, but I do.
It happens. It's the K-pop world. It happens.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely I've been checking that out, and had a request to like to react to KB's like when it comes out. So I'm like really looking forward to their stories. Because I think they're obviously going to be fire. So I've been looking forward to that. So I've been seeing like Begin.
And also, they're so pretty. They're so pretty.
Oh my god, they're so pretty. Every one of them is just like. And Junji finally got the hair out of his face, so you can see his face more. It's great. Anyway, so that's my little. So I said that I wasn't, you know, that's like my GDBL thing that I've also been into because I just can't get enough of them. They're great. Okay. Yeah, just look at for Begin, and it's gonna be amazing. And the video is really good, and the song is a bop. Let me tell you,
it is a bop indeed.
All right. Well, that's our show. We've had good times talking about Japanese BL. We've talked about some of the things that we do outside of BL lands. Again,
if you have a favorite Japanese BL that we didn't mention, please let us know. Like,
comment down below.
Comment down below, and we'll try to check it out if we can find it.
Yeah, and then also we have our Discord server that'll be down in the link below as well, and all of our other endeavors will be there too. So thank you for watching / listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You have a great day. Bye. Bye.